Good morning or afternoon, upcoming seventh grade parents. My name is Lisa Starita, and I'm the school counselor here at Long Beach Middle School. This is my first ever recorded online parent presentation. And yes, you are seeing that right. Your seventh grade or incoming seventh grade student will be the graduating class of 2026. So we hope that this presentation will answer some questions for you and hopefully ease your mind about the transition to middle school. First of all, I want to say that I recognize you'll have lots of questions probably after this presentation, and that is completely understandable. My email address will be on the last slide, and I welcome any questions or concerns you may have via email. I think that would be the best way for us to kind of work through this new normal, hopefully temporary. So the first thing I wanted to discuss with parents is scheduling. That's always one of the first questions. When are my kids going to get their schedule? I can tell you that schedules are not completed until the week school starts. We work on these schedules during the summer. We gather data. This year we won't have state testing data, but we do have benchmark data and class performance scores as well that we'll be looking at for proper class placement. At Long Beach Middle School, we have 6 class periods a day, with each class period being 63 minutes long. Each student will have 6 courses that they will stay in all year long. So for 7th graders, when they start in a class in August, in most situations, they will stay in that class all year long. They will not switch at semester or 9 weeks. 2 of the 6 courses that they are enrolled in will be elective courses. So they'll have 4 academics, they'll have math, English, science and history, and then 2 electives. So one of the questions we get quite often is, how are students placed in advanced classes? Students may be eligible for placement in advanced courses in math, English, and science. 7th grade history, there is not an advanced section because as 8th graders, all students will take the same 2 history courses, which in 8th grade are for high school credit. But placement in advanced courses will be determined by teacher recommendations, the end of year grades in that subject, benchmark results, and in previous years state test scores, and we will probably look at their 5th grade going into 6th grade scores just kind of as a baseline for us to make an informed decision. An important change that is beginning next school year that I wanted to make all parents aware of. In the past, our advanced 7th grade math class was Compacted Math 7, in which 7th grade students earned a math high school credit for. However, beginning next school year, we will no longer offer Compacted Math 7. We will have advanced sections of CCR Math 7, but students will not receive a high school math credit for that advanced math class in 7th grade. Beginning in the 2021-2022 school year, that is the year your student will be an 8th grader, we will no longer offer Algebra 1 or Compacted Math 8 to those 8th graders beginning the following school year. That's not next school year's 8th graders, but when your students enter the 8th grade, we will not offer Compacted Math, which is Algebra 1. However, the math that will be offered to your student when they are in 8th grade is also for a high school math credit. Some students may be scheduled into one of our in-school tutorial classes as one of their electives. We want to make sure that students don't become overwhelmed with the transition to middle school, with the rigor, the increasing rigor of the work. And so we really look at different data points to identify those students who need extra support during the school day. Students who had low end-of-year grades, low benchmark results, and or test scores may be placed in the tutorial class for the first 9 weeks of school to provide added support. Throughout the year, students who are identified as struggling or in need of some remediation may be removed from one of their electives and placed in the tutorial class. About a week ago, we sent out a link to a Google form for your child to fill out to select their electives or to request elective choices for next year. So here are the options for 7th grade students. We have art, we have drama, we have Cyber Foundations 1. In the past, this was called ICT 1. However, we are embracing the state's new technology curriculum and will begin implementing Cyber Foundations 1 for our 7th graders. In order to take Cyber Foundations 2, as an 8th grader, they must take Cyber Foundations 1 in 7th grade. Of course, we also have PE. We do have band and choir. Miss Lynn has posted on social media sites that she will be doing auditions via virtually, I guess you could say. And so be sure to email her if your child wants to try out for choir. We have a couple of different choirs that they may be placed into. Placement in specific band or choir sections would be based on auditions and or experience level. So if your child has not selected their elective request this year, they should submit 2 primary elective choices. These would be the ones they want the most, and then 2 alternate choices. These would be 2 electives that they'd be okay in if they didn't get one of their primary elective choices. Elective requests should be entered on the Google form no later than May 15th. You can find the link on the Long Beach School District Facebook page, my counselor page, which is on the LBMS webpage as well. So there are some important things that you need to be aware of while we have an extended summer, I guess you could say. All 7th graders must have a current 121 shot record on file before they can get their schedule. It is a state law that 7th grade students must have the Tdap booster. Now I recognize that given in light of COVID operations, it might be difficult to get well visits, but if your child has not had that Tdap booster, I encourage you to work on getting an appointment set up so that they can get that immunization, and we'll have all of those pieces of paper on file for them to start in August. 121 immunization forms should be turned in during the registration days this summer, which I'm not sure when those will be. Please watch our Facebook and social media sites for those dates. Or when schools open back up, probably you could drop those off by the middle school. Again, just the point of this is to make sure that you check to see if your child has had their Tdap booster and that you have a current copy of the immunization form showing that they have had that shot. Okay, so a lot of times, one of the things that comforts new to middle school parents is kind of understanding our daily routine. School will start at 7:50 a.m. and students, the tardy bell will ring at 7:55. If your child arrives on campus after 7:55, parents must come in the school and sign their student in if they are tardy to school. We do have a 9-minute break between second and third period. This is a time for students. They'll stay in their second period class. They'll have semi-free time. They'll be able to eat snacks, purchase snacks, and we will also use this break time as a homeroom advisement time where we would maybe pass out schedules or other information that needs to come home to parents. We'll also be using this time to have some of our house meetings, which we will explain when school gets started. The dismissal bell rings at 3:15 every afternoon. Now, morning and afternoon announcements are made daily, and this is the primary method of getting information out to students. And we try to teach our students early on, you have got to listen to the announcements because that is where we'll tell them information about tryouts for different sports or signups for different extracurricular clubs. So it's very important that our students know that the primary method we communicate with them is through our morning and afternoon announcements. I am Michelle Eleuteris, and I'm the district social worker for Long Beach Schools. My main office is at the middle school, so I start and end my day off here, as well as I am here 2 full days during the school week. I have one of the great advantages of being able to go to most of the schools in the district. So a lot of times I can follow the students from elementary school through high school. I'm going to talk a little bit about a few of the transition challenges you might see with your students who are coming into seventh grade from the sixth grade. You may notice that the first week or two of school, they may come home a little tired, a little irritable, not really sure about the whole change in environment that they're seeing. Well, here's some of the reasons you may see some of those changes in behavior. They're going from having 3 teachers to having 6 teachers. Their classes are a little bit over an hour long each. When the bell rings, they get up, they walk independently down the hallway to their next class, and they have a whole new set of students they're with. So no longer are they with the same group of 30 students each day, all day long, but they are changing from one class to the next on their own. They're not being escorted down the hall with a teacher, and they're meeting new people. And so, for the first few weeks, this may be a little overwhelming to them. In addition, you're going to notice that many of their teachers will require a lot of independent study. They do have expectations that these students will be well organized. We don't hand out planners. We're hoping that at this point, Harper has taught them all those skills, and we know that our students who come to us from Harper McCon are very prepared to take on seventh grade. Some of the other things that are happening is they're meeting new friends. They're being around people maybe they've never been around before because they've always been in the same class with the same people. So some of those fears, some of those worries, some of that irritability you see are going to be very normal. But encourage your child each day to talk to you about their day. Maybe avoid those questions that could give you the one word answers. Instead of asking, "How was your day?" and they're going to respond, "Good, fine." Maybe ask questions like, "So tell me what y'all did in your science class today." Or, "Is there anybody funny who's made you laugh that you've never met before that you're excited to be in class with?" Those kind of questions are questions that help get conversation started among parents and adolescents. Adolescence is a very tough time anyway. Throwing in the changes that go from sixth grade to seventh grade, we do expect there to be a little bit of changes that you'll see at home. Most of those, by the end of the first semester, those students are going to be loving middle school, loving the independence that they're getting. They're going to be thriving on challenging classes and meeting new friends. And you're going to see that they actually enjoy school and being at school and have fun at school. Of course, if you find that your child is really struggling with the transition, and that happens sometimes, please don't hesitate to contact Mr. Rita or myself. We are here for the kids. We want to help middle school be a fun experience, be an experience that they can look back on for these 2 years and say, "Wow, that wasn't bad at all." You're also going to see some changings with some building academic pressure. Teachers challenge the students. They expect the students to be able to keep up with the pace and the work, but they also want the students to communicate with them when they don't understand something. I think with all of these things that you're going to see, you're going to find that your child is actually growing up and making that transition from childhood to adolescence. And we are excited at the middle school that we're able to help them do that. Along with the increased independence that I talked about previously, there are other benefits that your child is going to experience throughout his or her middle school career. We have tons of opportunities for students to get involved in extracurricular activities. We have all the sports that you hear about: baseball, softball, basketball, golf, tennis, swim, cheer, dance, volleyball, soccer, all those sports. But in addition, we also have clubs that will meet the interest of many students. There are clubs that deal for students who love math, like math counts. There are robotics clubs. There are leadership clubs like student council. There are academic clubs like beta club. Many different opportunities for your student to get involved and really find their group of people who are have like-minded interests and share similarities that they'll really connect with to be able to navigate through these next few years. As Mr. Rita has talked about a little earlier, there's also opportunities to earn high school credits when they're in middle school, and teachers are challenging your students so that they're going to learn those skills that will help them in those higher level classes when they get to the high school, like those AP classes and dual credit classes. There are many opportunities for parents to stay involved, even though your child is moving into the middle school age group. We do have a rather active PTO here at Long Beach Middle School. Also, most of the middle school sports teams have booster clubs, which are parent organizations that help to support those sports teams. Also, at Long Beach Middle School, we implement a PBIS system, which is positive behavior intervention supports, where we periodically, from time to time, will do rewards and different incentives for students that are meeting our pride expectations. So you could always volunteer to help with one of those events. We have implemented the house system at Long Beach Middle School, which is a great opportunity that has really helped to create a family atmosphere here at the middle school. Students and teachers are divided up into 5 different families, and throughout the year we'll have friendly competitions, house rallies, and house meetings where we help students to connect with other students that maybe they normally wouldn't see or get to know in the typical classroom atmosphere. So parents can help out with some of our house rallies or our house meetings. In middle school, this is not a time to step back. This is a time to stay involved. Communicate with your child. Teach your child resiliency and responsibility. Allow them, guide them with some independence to approach issues or concerns on their own. But of course, as their parent, step in when you know that you need to step in those situations. So in conclusion, I want to summarize the process for registration for school this year. If you are a new student to the Long Beach School District, when new student registration opens, you'll need to complete that on our district website. Then you'll need to turn in a 121 shot record, a birth certificate, end of year grades, and 2 proofs of residency. We do not have the date for the documents to be turned in or the location where you'll need to turn those in, but just stay tuned to our social media sites and we'll get that information as soon as it becomes available. If your child is transferring from Harper McCon, when registration opens online, you'll need to complete the returning student registration and turn in 2 proofs of residency. We will also need a 121 shot record showing that Tdap booster if it is not already on file at Harper McCon. Also, don't forget to enter elective course request on the Google form no later than May 15th. And looking at this last picture, I'm sure we can all kind of get a little laugh out of it because we remember our middle school days. We know that they are awkward. We know that there's a lot of identification going on. We know that our children are exploring who they are and really becoming miniature young adults. And so remember that when you look at your child over the next few years and you think, who are you? Where did my sweet little innocent elementary school kid go? Remember, middle school's a phase and it is awkward and sometimes quite humorous to watch, but we will take good care of them here at Long Beach Middle School and we can't wait to walk with them through these next 2 years. Again, if you have any questions, you can email me. Please feel free to email me with any questions. My email address is on this last screen. I look forward to meeting you and your child in the days to come. And again, feel free to ask questions, shoot me an email, and I'll be glad to respond. Thank you, and I hope everyone has a great day. Stay safe, and we will see y'all soon.